Okay, why do I love water culture growing so much? I'm gonna show you and I'm gonna tell you. Let's get into it. All right, if you guys have been following, some of these plants you have seen before, multiple times probably. And I do that on purpose because I want you guys to see. It's not like I just show you something once and then I'm like, see how great it is? And then it dies a week later and you never know about it. I want to show you the continuous thriving and growing of the plants that I have in my water culture setups. So this one is the Hoya australis lisa. You guys have seen it before. It was severely sunburned or sun stressed because it was in the actual window, the south facing window. Since then I've moved it away and I have it on a cart, a plant rack that's just like maybe a foot away from the window. So the color isn't as vivid as it was, but it started growing a little more. So I really wanted this to leaf out more. And you can see, I keep thinking that that's a mealybug. It's not, it's just like a scar. There are a few scars on the leaves. And if you know Hoyas, they have all kinds of, issues on their leaves and discolorations and such. But anyway, this plant has done phenomenally well in water, and it's still in the same vessel that it's been in. Let me take this out so you guys can see it. The roots, once again, are growing. Looks like there are some old roots in there that can come off, the dark ones, which I probably will remove. But for now, it's not showing any signs of rot or anything like that. No adverse reactions to that, so I'm gonna keep it for now. But just get a load of this. A Hoya in water for how long has it been in water? Do you guys know? I don't know. I'm gonna have to check back and see the first video I did with this beautiful lady, but it's doing just fine. I think this also had one flower. There was a peduncle somewhere inside here and it had one lone flower in the peduncle. I thought that was so funny. But yeah, anyway, plant is doing well still. And again, I don't feed this very often. Just to recap, because everyone keeps asking me, and I know that I probably don't say it in every video, but the fertilizer that I use, and they're not giving me any money for saying this or anything. Nobody's sponsoring anything here. But I use Better Grow Orchid Plus, which is an orchid fertilizer, but it has macro and micronutrients, which is good for everything as far as I'm concerned, because everything seems to be thriving and doing really well. I take the scoop, there's a scoop in there, I mix it with water to the recommended dosage, but then I only take drops at a time and put maybe like 5 to 10 drops into the water that is in the vessel. So it's extremely diluted. But when I do fertilize, that's how I do it. A lot of these plants I don't feed regularly, which I probably should, but I haven't been because there's thousands, okay, hundreds, but still, I really got to get back into the feed. But this plant is doing great. It's beautiful. The colors are great. It's lush. It has not, even when it's dried out, because sometimes I let it dry out completely, and I say that like I do it on purpose. I forget and I don't water the plant, but when that happens, it's okay because the roots, it's an epiphyte, so those roots are usually clinging to a tree or something else. So it's okay if they dry out for a period of time. And then I fill it with water and boom, it's back. The leaves have never gotten wrinkly and dehydrated. They are very, very firm. You can see the taco test, as I think Nick Pileggi says. Yeah, so yeah, that's the first one. Okay, next up we have a succulent. Now this is a Grapsipedalum Purple Delight, I believe. You can see the beautiful colors are coming out because this is under a grow light. So yeah, let's take a look at the roots though. And I just cleaned the roots off too. Look at all those fresh roots. All of the light colored roots are the new, the dark are the old. And when I cleaned off a lot of the old roots today, actually, I took some of the new roots with it, which is fine. It'll grow new ones, but I didn't mean to. They all kind of were tangled together. But you can see the plant is extremely happy. It's under the light, so it's getting color, and the internodes are much shorter now. You can see how it was before it was under the light. It's getting its color, and it is extremely hydrated. That's another thing with when you grow your succulents in water culture, they always are hydrated. And I feel like that's a good thing because from my experience, when I have them in soil, because I do still have some in soil and other mediums, when I let them dry out, like everyone says, you know, don't water until the soil is completely dry. The older leaves start to wrinkle and dry and fall off because it's using those reserves to supplement moisture because there's none in the soil. When you constantly give it the moisture that it needs, it doesn't lose leaves nearly as often, and the plant is always in a good state of, I'm not focusing, hold on, there we go. The plant is always in a good state of hydration. The reason why you can't keep them wet in soil is because the pathogens in soil, the fungi and all that sort of stuff, that's what gets a hold of the dead roots that have died, and the root rot then takes over. So water, as long as you keep it clean, no root rot. Okay, graptopetalum, that's that one. Next up we have, okay, these were cuttings that someone had given me as a gift with something I had ordered. Get a load of this. Okay, this is Tradescantia Purple Heart. This is Tradescantia pallida Purple Heart, and it even bloomed for me. And one thing that's really interesting that I realized is after they bloom, from that same area where the buds are, it grows new branches after the flowers are done. So as you can see, we've got branches coming out of where the flowers were. There's a little purple heart there, and there's the purple heart there, upside down. So yeah, these have yet to grow anything out of them, but I'm sure they will. And I just think it's really cool. So this has been, these came to me without any roots at all, and I just stuck them in this cup, this glass, plastic glass, and here we have beautiful roots. There's a new shoot growing from the base there. It loves it. I gotta clean this water. This water's a little dirty, and I want to rinse off the roots. But this has not gotten any feed, no fertilizer, and it's going kind of crazy. This was not getting any direct light. As you can see, the leaves are green and not purple. Oh, my camera is not focusing today. There we go. So these are green and not purple like they should be, like, let's say, closer to this color or the underside here. And now I moved them to a south-facing window, so we should be getting some more color. But yeah, Tradescantia, all kinds of Tradescantia do fine in water. I like the larger leaved, larger growing Tradescantias. So yeah, I've had the smaller ones. I'm not partial to them. Next up, this is a new placement into water. This is chalk sticks, Senecio, succulent. Hasn't had time to acclimate yet. It's only been less than a week, I think, that I've put these in to water. It's gonna take some time, but I'm sure they will do fine because I have another Senecio, which I'm gonna show you, that has been in for, I don't know if it's been a year yet in water culture, but these succulents love it. They love it. Nice and supple. I don't want to touch the leaves too much because I'll take the farina off. It's that whitish bloom. Yeah, but this is gonna, you know, I'll do more videos on this one. It's relatively new, but I just want to show you, you know, what's possible. All right, next up we have, let me show you the other Senecio. Now this one is in a north-facing window. You guys have seen this before. If you follow along, it has gotten crazy. Look at how crazy this is. This is nuts, right? This was, I guess they were like, I guess that tall from the bottom of the cup up to here, and they have grown this much since. Let me back up. Look at how much they've grown. North-facing window, not even getting sufficient light, and that's why they're so etiolated, but these are a trailing variety, so, you know, I don't mind it. I kind of like the craziness of it. They root very easily in water. All you can do is take a cutting and stick them in water and they will root. But as you can see, the plant is thriving, and I recently cleaned up the roots because the roots were a little bit messy. Some of them had died. So I said, let me just rinse out the cup and clean up the roots. And it has been in water for many, many months. Again, I don't remember when I did the first video, but this has been, I'm trying to think when I put these in, but it's been quite a while. And as you can see, no signs of stopping. So I love, love, love that. This is such a cool plant, and I can forget about this, and as long as I don't let this completely dry out, or at least not for too long, the plant does extremely well. This is a Senecio, I think it's Senecio ovovata, and there's a name after it. I don't know, like a woman's name, but anyway, I just think it's really cool. The leaves are really cool too. They have like these lighter veins. What is wrong with this camera? There we go. Lighter veins, and only on the top surface. Oh, I took off some of the bloom. But yeah, so I just think that it just looks so cool. This camera is giving me a hard time today. Sorry, guys. My apologies. All right, next up we have Colus. This is a trailing Colus. This was a cutting or two that I had gotten. No roots. And I've been taking cuttings off of it. That's why you see all this new growth up here where I've cut. I cut there too. Beautiful new leaves. These are about 3 feet away from a south-facing window, which gets them bright light, especially in the winter when the sun actually comes through the window. And look at these beautiful roots. I mean, everybody knows you could root and grow coleus in water, but because the majority of my plants are either in water, semi-hydro, or yarn, acrylic yarn, why wouldn't I just put my coleus into water? Again, I'm sorry for the camera. It's really bad today. I don't know why. It might be the towel I have behind. It's focusing on the towel, I think. Anyway, so yeah, it's coleus. I'm going to have to chop this down more and stick them in the water to root because it's getting leggy and I don't want it to take up too much room. But yeah, so that's that. And last, but certainly not least, is one of the Echeverias, another succulent. You've seen this before. I've had this in a video. And look at how cool the frilly leaves are. And they're edged in red. And it has grown a nice root system on one side. The other side is starting to grow down into the water as well. And it also started blooming. Look at this flower spike. Let me get this to focus. There we go. This one's dried up, but it looks like it's got more. Let me turn this around. It's got more to come. There we go. Look at that. They look really cool. They're like bells that are upside down, and they're small, but they're really pretty. And this is in a south-facing window. Oh my God, this is horrible. It won't focus. Really bad. Anyway, south-facing window, and it is, I just make sure that the water's topped up. Again, this one in particular hasn't gotten any feed, I don't think, but it doesn't matter. It's still doing fine. And we've got nice, lots of nice leaves coming in. It's very, very firm. No sign of desiccation because it's hydrated. And I love this plant. It's so sturdy. I love plants that are sturdy like this, where the leaves are really thick, like Hoya leaves. I love that. Yeah, so there you have it. If you have any questions about general waterculture stuff, reach out. Of course, I love talking about this kind of stuff. You can't stop me. And I just want to put all these in the frame if I can, or at least some of them. This is one of my favorites. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Love you. Anyway, yeah. So if you have any questions about any type of houseplants growing in waterculture or any type of succulents growing in waterculture, reach out and we will discuss, and I will let you know my experiences. If you guys have experience with waterculture growing, then I'd love to hear your experiences and the plants that you're growing, because everyone's got a little different take on things. Oh, guess what I just found? A mealybug. See that right there? Mealybug. Bye-bye. All right, I'm gonna have to spray this with alcohol. I got my alcohol nearby. Coleus are like crack to mealybugs, so they just love it. So I'm gonna have to separate this guy. Anyway, yes, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell if you want to be notified, and I will see you in the next video.